The great state of Wyoming leads the pack in cryptocurrency regulation. The governor of the Bank of England calls Bitcoin a failed currency. Do you agree? South Korea finally shows its true colors when it comes to cryptocurrency. Yes, oh yes, Bitcoin soars past 11K, breaking the 11.6 mark and showing indications that it might return to its full strength of market health and even break its all-time high in the not-too-distant future. Everything you need to know and some daily market analysis. I'm Elio Trades, and this is your daily FUD TV update. That's right, guys. It is a good day again as we are still over the $500 billion mark. We have grown steadily each and every day over the past sort of 7 to 10 days. There has been a little up and down, but for the most part, we've been seeing positive growth and stability in this total market capitalization. If we look at the 1 month chart, we can just see how there's really a turning point here around February 6th or 7th here. Yeah, on the 6th, there was just this bottoming out. And now we started to see since that 6th, there was a little bit of a pullback from the 10th to the 11th or from the 9th to the 11th, but since then we're just trudging here. We're making our way up and we're making our way back to this full market health that we were at the beginning of 2018. We want to climb up this mountain and get back up to the 830 mark that we were at. You can see we're trying here. This is by far, look at all this. All these little attempts to grow back, stifled after just a couple days, but here we have over 10 days, 11, 12 days of positive growth. This is phenomenal, guys. It shows that we are making the growth and heading in the direction sustainably that we need to create another bull run and to really bring the investors back into the space that we need. At the top of the biggest gainers for the top 100, we see Redcoin racking up an almost 34% gain. As you can see, this spike came just out of nowhere yesterday on the week chart. We can see it just boom, shot up here, and Doge making a nice little run as well. Coming in here, I think one of the biggest ones I want to focus on for the next few days is going to be Omise Go. Honestly, Omise Go has so much good news coming out. I would say that it's about to go on a little rocket ride of its own. Omise Go, if you don't know, is one of the leading wallet solutions in the cryptocurrency industry. They also want to do some payment processing, much in the way that PayPal does some payment processing. Essentially, this is going to be a very front-facing, consumer-facing product that a lot of people in Southeast Asia and Eastern Asia are already using. So it's a very cool product, and I expect a lot of big things from Omise Go. We're going to do a full Omise Go video on this channel very soon. Ride Network is making some moves. Obviously, Ride Network's a cool project focusing on scaling for Ethereum. Again, I'm very hesitant to invest in any projects that are not official scaling solutions, like Trinity has Neo has Trinity, like in the movie, and so you know it's kind of official. And then you also have Plasma coming out on Ethereum being released by Vitalik. So it sort of feels like Plasma might be the go-to scaling solution, even though Raiden's a pretty cool one. Litecoin keeps making news with their gains, and you know, we had been prior a little bearish on Litecoin, but it's looking like Litecoin's going to come back to this sort of mid 200s value point and maybe even get back up to those 300s where it was. I've heard that Litecoin has gained some popularity on the dark web, which might explain this recent surge. Here, obviously, they had a bunch of new updates and the LitePay news, but I think that they've had a little bit of an over-indexing on their growth here, and that might be due to maybe some dark web adoption. Rchain, another cool project, another platform play. VeChain, very bullish on VeChain on this channel, just like all of the top leading RFID blockchain solutions. And Bitcoin, of course, we always love to see Bitcoin among the higher gainers. Of course, as you noticed here, we're not in big greens, we're in small greens. We're showing signs of stability. We're not in big reds either, right? This is a very balanced top 100. We have one coin that's above 15% gains, and really there's zero coins that are below 15% losses in the top 100. This is an awesome sign. It shows that we're stabilizing and we're putting ourselves in a position to build that foundation as we grow. No parabolic shoots upwards that are bound to create a parabolic turn downwards. We want to have these nice, steady growth patterns where we gain, not in an unhealthy way, but in that healthy. We want those healthy gains, that good muscle, that good burn. Yeah. So as we go into the next 100, we can see Ether Party towards the top here. Siren Labs, if you don't know, they're using a lot of blockchain technology to be put inside of smart devices. They sort of fancy themselves as the Apple of blockchain. That is to be determined. And obviously, the biggest problem that I have with hardware providers is that Samsung and Apple could just start putting in all of the things that make this blockchain friendly that Siren Labs are doing. Not to say that it won't be successful. That's just my big fear when I see hardware producers going up against the big bad ones. The same could be said of if you're trying to start a chipset manufacturing, you'd be going up against NVIDIA and Bitmain and actually their suppliers that create those microchips. So Oyster right below them, very cool project. I have a lot of Oyster myself, and so it's really cool to see this thing moving. And then Singularity Net, also a good project. But again, you guys, you can see here, the lowest low is 22% and the highest high is 25%. We are creating a nice equilibrium in the top coins of small gains, small rises, small gains, and we're showing that we have price stability here above 500 billion, which is phenomenal, and we can create this as a new floor to build on top of as we get back to full market health. Jumping into the headlines now, we want to talk about Wyoming. Wyoming. So of all the places in the world, Wyoming just passed a law that essentially separates utility tokens, quote unquote, from securities law. Up until this law was passed, it sort of seemed like there's always this risk that the US government will just sort of lump all the cryptocurrencies together and put some blanket rules across them that don't really fit, right? And somehow really hinder the industry from growing. Now, seeing the differentiation between utility tokens, securities tokens, and potentially even other types of tokens like payment or transaction tokens, these are going to be the kinds of changes, the kinds of regulatory actions that show that our government is taking a responsible approach to implementing regulations. And this is going to allow the industry to grow in a healthy way, to curb bad actors, to curb the kinds of negative abuses that have gone on in the industry while still encouraging positive growth. I am super excited about this one. The governor of the Bank of England, Mark Carney, has recently stated that Bitcoin is a failed currency. It's not a store of value because it's all over the map. Nobody uses it as a medium of exchange. Well, that's one way to look at it. Obviously, Bitcoin was a very well-utilized medium of exchange while its price stabilized throughout 2014 and 2015. And as the price stabilizes in the future, we can probably expect that it'll do the same. You know, in the end, who cares what this guy has to say? He's a governor of a central bank. Like, obviously, he's not going to like Bitcoin. This is a complete usurpation of his power. It's subjugating the system that he loves and that has put him in power. And why would anyone who's in a position of power that's being diminished like that process? Like, again, you just have to check your sources here. So him saying it's failed as a currency just shows me that the people in the highest realms of power are all they're talking about is Bitcoin. And, you know, you can love to hate Bitcoin, but you're still talking about it and you're still giving it more popularity every time you put out a press release like this. So shouts out to you for talking about Bitcoin. You don't realize what you did, but you made it stronger even by talking about it. So thank you to the Bank of England Governor, Mark Carney. South Korea finally puts in regulations that dispel rumors and allow cryptocurrency to be transacted on in an official government capacity. This is huge, as South Korea has rapidly emerged as potentially the #1 market in cryptocurrency globally. So the head of South Korea's financial regulator and watchdog has now confirmed that the government will support cryptocurrency trading while encouraging banks to facilitate transactions with exchanges, effectively killing any fears of rumored ban. This story really comes on the heels of several weeks of FUD coming out of the South Korean government. We know that there was quote-unquote regulations coming and that there was actually insider trading going on by the government, and then we heard of all these new tax impositions and new KYC regulations, but the whole ball of wax has been leading to the big question, which is, are these going to be banned? Is this going to be a removal of South Korea's participation in the industry? And we're getting, with this story, a resounding no, which couldn't be more exciting to cryptocurrency investors globally. So big shout outs to you, South Korea, for doing the right thing, as Spike Lee would say. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please smash that like button. It really helps us and YouTube know you enjoyed the content, and it shows it to other people who might be looking for it. Once again, please remember we are not financial advisors, and everything you've heard here is just our opinion. I'm Elio Trades, and I thank you so much for spending your time with us, and we'll catch you on the next episode of FUD TV.